at Verizon in regards to a lot of different activity. You're seeing it from a standpoint of striping across all these various agencies, the private sector as well. Give us an example of a program that you'd like to bring to the light here.
Yeah, I want to go off of what Dr. Massey said. So one of the things that I'm working on and working with our team, lab team. So we're very excited. In October of 21, we kicked off our Boston facility, which is a lab downtown. And this actually mimics probably around 90% of what our network does today, where we actually give it availability to customers to test, right? So multiple vendors, multiple core vendors, multiple MEC providers, private networks, commercial networks. More importantly, we just set up our quantum key distribution network that will support 5G. So it actually gives the ability for agencies to come into the facility and actually do testing on a real wide network, but more importantly, you can manipulate the network, right? You're not tearing it down or actually adversely affecting the commercial network, right? So having that ability to actually do that in a confined space is very exciting. A lot of agencies are very interested, so you can get raw data and actually how a device interacts with the network. And more importantly, as Dr. Massey said, what kind of showings are actually being seen on the network for that particular device. So that is actually in a lab environment. And more excitingly, with using our commercial network in the spirit of the DoD at the Miramar location there with Major Harvey, we're going to conduct some experiments later this year where we're actually going to do some real testing, and actually as they deploy autonomous vehicles, drones, and vehicles themselves, they're actually curious to see actually how it interacts on the actual commercial network, what kind of data is actually shown or emitted. And we're very excited to actually kick off that project the second part of this year going into 2023, right? So that's probably the biggest thing that we start to get from agencies, and actually from a research and engineering. How does it actually work through a mobile network operator like Verizon, and actually providing some information, which we're excited to, it's new for us, and actually kicking off the labs. And the last thing I'll leave on, Luke, is we're very excited about 5G, but also 4G is going to be around for a very long time, right? So when we talk about 5G, AR, VR, right, that's high bandwidth, when we talk about 5G and IoT, a lot of those devices will not actually use a lot of bandwidth, right? So you can imagine if you're a war fighter, right, actually weaving in chips into BDUs or boots or, tools, right, non-electrical tools like shovels, right, picks, right? So as Army Corps of Engineers, so you're going to see a lot more tracking of devices that are going to use the greater 5G ecosystem, but also you're going to use the 4G. So when you talk about like things like narrowband IoT or Cat M1 networks on LTE, there's going to be millions of those devices, if not billions, being tracked. They'll actually fall into the 5G ecosystem.